this little cutie is Becca, and boy is she cute. Yes, and puppy breath. All right, in this video we're going to go over ways to stop Becca from mouthing and nipping, because I saw one of her guardian's forearms and there were a bunch of little battle scars. So a couple things about puppies sample things with their mouth. It's very natural for them to chew on things with their mouth. This is why we want to have a lot of appropriate chew toys. Now let's talk about some inappropriate chew toys. A lot of people use, we'll get to that in a sec. A lot of people use rawhides like this. Now this is the same shape as their digestive tract. What they do is they get it wet and slobber on it, hold onto it, and they tear pieces of it off and eat it. I'll let you chew on this a little bit. Now rawhides I'm not a fan of because they are typically washed in bleach, ammonia, and a lot of other chemicals. And your dog is going to ingest it. And this is going to, it's leather essentially, it's skin, it's going to soak that up. So your dog's going to be ingesting ammonia and bleach and a lot of other chemicals, which is probably not good for them. So I do not use rawhides. What I do use is bully sticks, which I had given her one earlier. She went through it pretty quickly. Now, bully sticks, there's two types of them. I get the ones that are labeled odor-free. They're going to be a little bit smaller, but they will not give your dog gas. So bully sticks, you want to give them appropriate chew toys. Now, if you let your dog chew on you like this, anything your dog is doing that you pet, you're rewarding. So if your puppy jumps up on you and you pet it when it's jumping up, you're rewarding it for jumping up. If I don't disagree, then the dog thinks I agree with what's going on. So I don't want to let the dog, I've seen people let the dog chew on them. We don't want to do that. Now, if a puppy, dogs sleep 17 hours a day. Most people don't realize how often they sleep. Puppies sleep even more than that. When they get cranky and they are in need of a nap, a lot of times they get very mouthy and nippy. So if your dog is getting mouthy and nippy, you should ask yourself, how long has it been since it's had a nap? Now, puppies are just like little kids. I don't need a nap, I'm fine. Well, no, they need naps. So one of the things I like to do is have a puppy playroom where I can put the dog in there and close the door and know that it's protected because it's got puppy gates on the wall so she can't chew anything inappropriate. I fill it full of appropriate chew toys. And so when the dog gets mouthy and nippy and won't listen, I can put it in there. It does a couple things, and I have a post about this on QuestEd, doggoneproblems.com/quest, where I create a puppy playroom so that when the dog is cranky, I put it in there, and I close the door. I do this when I'm home. The dog will whimper for a second, it hears that I'm still there, and wants company, but after a minute or two, they go grab one of their toys and play with it, out of sight, out of mind, the human is. And then after a couple minutes, they're like, oh, I'm tired, and they fall asleep. Well, they learn just to only chew the appropriate things, which is one of the great benefits of that, but they learn how to be alone. You're helping your dog practice being alone. A lot of dogs, especially dogs that are kind of more herding dog, well, not necessarily herding dogs, but typically dogs that are more Velcro, that are with you a lot, are the ones who develop separation anxiety. Helping your dog practice, your puppy practice being alone, can be very helpful towards eliminating separation anxiety before it even gets a chance to start. Now for mouthing and nipping, what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove this and I'll use my finger. See how she stopped? When puppies are playing with one another and one of them bites too hard, they will yelp like that. Luckily, your guardians are smart and they just signed you up for our puppy class. So next week, you're going to be able to play with some other puppies. Now, if you have a puppy that is mouthy, it feels really good to mouth and bite and nip. It does not feel as good to be on the receiving end, as the humans have found out. When your puppy's in a puppy play class with other puppies the same size, they have the same razor sharp teeth. They have those sharp teeth because they don't have very strong jaws yet. So they get to feel what it feels like to be nipped on. And that helps introduce the concept to them and will greatly reduce the mouthing and nipping. And getting your puppy around other puppies of the same age and maturity level is huge. A lot of people say, I don't have time, or we have a dog at home. Dogs need to be around dogs the same age and maturity level when they're young like this. Otherwise, older dogs might know things that they don't know, or might beat up them. All right, so every time that she mouths you, you want to, anytime, even if her teeth accidentally touch you, you want to yelp, pull your hand away, wait, and then after a break, then we can go back to it. So what we're doing is trying to distract her a little bit. Now, when they're really cranky, they're not going to respond to that yelp. They're just going to keep on jumping up and biting at you. If that's the case, then that's the time where you take the puppy to the playroom, close the door. I have a security camera in mind, so I can watch my dog from right outside the door and see, oh, hey, after a couple minutes, you settled down, or after a couple minutes, he's not settling down. Yelping in a loud, kind of high-pitched voice and retracting and freezing. You see how she stops, waits a sec, and then she goes back to it. So that's technique number one. Technique number two, this is not what I was looking for. Now she likes chewing on this. It's like a fake paper. If she starts chewing pieces of this off, that's when you want to take it away. I like getting Nyla bones. Now they usually come in a pack of 3. They come in a bunch of different variations, but it looks like this except for it's got the bone. It looks like the fake cartoon bone. No bone that actually looks that way. But if you ever see an icon for that fake bone. Now usually it's a pack of 3. One of them will be a cookie in the pack of 3. Yes. One of them will be a cookie. One of them will be very flexible, rubber. Another one will be not flexible. You want to give them the cookie. They can eat the cookie right away. Then the flexible one, you give them to while they have these puppy teeth. And it's good for them to chew on. Once they lose their puppy teeth, then you want to graduate to the big one, or they're really teething and they're chewing pieces of it off. Then you graduate to the rigid one. And what we're doing is we're teaching him when you chew on the human stops playing with you and the thing you're chewing on goes away. We call that negative punishment. It's one of the 4 quadrants of operant conditioning. And then we go back. All right, so that's option number 1, yelping, retracting, waiting a second, and then going back. Option number 2 is, again, if that doesn't respond and they just keep on jumping up, take them to the puppy playroom or the kennel if you've kennel trained your dog. But don't just put your dog in a kennel without training them. That will create a negative association. The third thing that I do is I would keep the Nyla bones that I described that have the little 4 ear, 2 ears over here, 2 bubbles on this side and 2 bubbles on this side. I keep one of these in my back pocket at all times. Anytime the dog starts mouthing or nipping at me, I pull it out. Now, if I just give this to her, she's not going to be as interested. But if I tease her with it. Well, you're not cooperating right now, but usually, oh, she's got some of her, you got your, there we go. Harness in her mouth. But if we tease her with it a little bit, we keep it more desirable, and then we let her win and pull it away from me. And now she gets to chew on this herself. So when you do that, if your dog's mouthing on you, pull the one out of your pocket. Where did that go? Oh, you just got it in your mouth. So pull this thing out of your pocket, tease her with it a little bit. When she gets it, let her pull on it, let her win. Then if you just give it to her, she feels it's not they want a challenge. Then she feels good about herself. I took this away. All right, so once you do that, then immediately pick up another object, put it in your back pocket. So you have one of these in your pocket at all times. So anytime she starts mouthing and nipping, you can immediately redirect her to an appropriate chew toy. And again, let her chew on it a little bit. You can hold it like this. As you can see, she likes it when I'm holding it. They don't have as good dexterity of the fingers or the paws as we do with our fingers. But we're redirecting them towards the appropriate things. Now, a couple other things about mouthing and biting. If your puppy is licking something, a piece of wood, a piece of furniture, they're trying to soften it up. That means they're going to start chewing on it. So when you see that, one of the things I like to use are baby carrots. So what I do is I get a baby carrot, and if the dog is, let's say that she is facing this and she's chewing on this thing, I would go to the fridge, get the carrots out, tap the floor, and she turns around, and then I drop the carrots on the floor. So now she's turned away from whatever she is about to chew on. We've distracted her, and we've provided her something that she can chew on. Carrots are dense. They have a little bit of sugar in them, so they're good for the dogs to eat. It also will help later on when she starts teething. So when she starts teething, her teeth start coming out. If you start seeing like little pinkish or quasi blood on one of these things, it means one of the tooth is loose, just like little kids. So what we want to do at that point is I transition the carrots, the baby carrots, which I've already gotten the dog used to. Now I put them into the freezer. So just like little babies, we have little things that are frozen for them to numb their gums. So if the dog starts chewing on something or licking something, I immediately go to the freezer, pull a small handful out, rinse the hard frost off of them, and then put them on, tap the floor behind your dog, behind your puppy. It'll turn around, and it's got 3 baby carrots on the floor. So they chew those. Puppies have no attention span. So after they get done chewing them, what's the next adventure? While I'm looking this way, I'm not looking at the thing I was just chewing on. So we've effectively distracted them. We've redirected them into something that's appropriate, and we stopped them from getting in trouble before they actually had a chance to. What do you think about that? Puppies also usually love it when you blow in their face. Yes. Yes, I know you want to lick and chew. See how easy that works? This is how you can use, these are some tips and tricks to stop your puppy from mouthing and chewing.